Hello and welcome back to the Red Napkin. I'm Brian DiCiano. Today I'm going to be presenting to you one of the greatest ever Tiki drinks. Really was one of the drinks that started the whole Tiki era of cocktails, and the Mai Tai. Invented in the 1940s by Trader Vic. Victor Bergeron was his name, in Oakland, California. I believe he had a chain of Tiki style restaurants around Northern California. But I think the date it said was 1944 was when he created the original Mai Tai, and it was said that he served this drink he made with a very fine aged rum to a couple of his friends from Tahiti, and they proclaimed Mai Tai Roai, which means like out of this world the best or something like that in Tahitian. And so that's how the name of the drink came to be. The drink was originally made with a Wray and Nephew Jamaican rum. Wray and Nephew is Appleton, so it was a 17-year-old rum, and I'm not sure if it actually exists anymore. I know that we cannot get it here in the States. I mean, if you were possibly part of the Wray and Nephew family, you might have some access to some 17-year-old rums because they'd be yours. But the rum I'm going to be using today is El Dorado. I've talked about this rum in my presentation of the daiquiri. I really love the richness of these rums. They're definitely full-bodied, rich, intense, very deep style of rums. And I'm using this El Dorado 15-year-old. You could use other rums that could be very usable in a Mai Tai would be, Appleton, of course, Appleton. This here is the standard VX, but definitely the 12-year would be, the one you would want to use. You could use the Reserve as well. They all will make a good Mai Tai, but I like the richer qualities of the El Dorado. Mount Gay, extra old, very good rum. Very much like a spicy style, dry wood spice, caramels, vanilla in there, maybe a touch of tobacco. This is very good rum. Also makes a very good Mai Tai. You could use Zaya rum, 12-year-old rum from Trinidad. Possibly could use the Bacardi Ocho Años. I haven't tried that yet, but it probably would as well make a very good Mai Tai. So, I'll get started here. This drink is based heavily on rum, so it's just, little other ingredients and predominantly rum, because he created it to really highlight the features of the rum that he was using. Because he was using such a fine rum, he didn't want to overpower it with all these juices and syrups and cordials and all this other stuff. So he kept it simple and just highlighted the fantastic quality of the rum. That brings me to another point about the Mai Tai. You go into any bar, at least around here that I know, you're probably going to get some kind of bastardization of the Mai Tai. The Mai Tai classic recipe is definitely coming back, and it's really, the mixologists around New York and San Francisco that are really pushing, going back to the roots of pretty much all of these cocktails that are around now. So it's not a drink that contains orange juice and pineapple juice and grenadine, and I mean, you could substitute amaretto for the orgeat syrup, but you want to keep it just simple. You know, not all those juices and flavored rums and all this other stuff that you really do not want in the drink. It's just the wrong idea for what this drink is. So we'll just start off here. 3/4 of an ounce of freshly pressed lime juice. Must be absolutely fresh lime juice. It's the only way to go for any drink. And then I'm going to be adding 1/2 ounce of orgeat syrup, basically an almond syrup. I believe some of them, I don't know exactly how like classic they're making their orgeat. I guess if you were to get a very high quality like traditional orgeat, it's made with like orange flower water or rose water. I think it might be orange flower water. And it's basically an almond syrup, so you could use an almond syrup or you could make your own almond syrup. I did that before, and I would recommend it actually, because orgeats and almond syrups that you're going to get, they're probably going to have high fructose corn syrup in them, or other just, you know, natural flavors that aren't like specifically just the almond and, you know, the natural way of making the syrup. Or artificial flavors, which you really don't want either. But I decided to go straight with a commercial orgeat syrup because it just keeps things a little more consistent between you and I. And this one's kind of a light orgeat syrup, so I'm using 1/2 ounce. Sometimes you'll see recipes that only use like a teaspoon of orgeat syrup. The almond syrup that I made, I used just a basic simple syrup, and I added almond extract, and I think I added some orange flower water to it, and I think I fortified it a little bit with some brandy. But with that, I was only using like just 1/4 ounce, and that was definitely enough. So here I got my orgeat syrup. Kind of a difficult pronunciation kind of word. I've seen a lot of people say it differently. I'm not exactly like 100% sure that it's orgeat. I've been saying orgeat for a long time. I've seen orgeat. But anyways, you get the idea. So then the drink also contained a orange curaçao, and I'm not using orange curaçao today. This is Torres Orange, which is basically like Grand Marnier, but it's from Spain, and it's, you know, another one of those secret recipe liqueurs that they were producing. 19th century Spain. Jaime Torres recovered a secret recipe for an ancestral liqueur that had reached the Antilles Islands during Columbus's travels. In the Torres brandy cellars, he macerated bitter Spanish orange skins, adding wild herbs, cinnamon, cardamom, clove, Cienfuegos coffee, Cuban molasses, and orange blossom honey. This resulted in an aromatic liqueur with a silky smooth body and exceptional nobility. So, it's a little different than orange curaçao, but it's a nice liqueur, and it's less expensive than Grand Marnier, which is always a benefit. And I'm only going to add 1/2 ounce of this. And this will add kind of that remaining sweetness to, you know, the full 3/4 of an ounce of the fresh lime juice. And then my El Dorado 15-year-old rum. You could use their 12-year-old rum. Probably shouldn't use the 21-year-old rum for this. But the 15-year-old rum's really nice. Really nice in this, so. Full 2 ounces. Beautiful color in this rum. Oh, so aromatic. I can smell it already. add some ice onto this and give it a good hard shake. Should be good. You know when it's done when you hear the ice kind of all breaking up, and when it feels cold, like really cold to your hand. Serving this in a rocks glass. As I stated before, I like these really large ice cubes, and I also fine strain this because you don't want to get a lot of like little tiny ice chips. This originally was served I think on crushed ice, but I'm not too much of a fan of crushed ice, so I like to just serve this on these large ice cubes, and that way you're not drinking through like a mound of ice, and these large ice cubes will keep the drink cold indefinitely and keep it from diluting too much. And garnish on here, some fresh mint. It's going to add an aromatic, minty quality. Spank it, because it's bad. It'll kind of break up those cell walls and stuff and make the mint very much more aromatic. Lime wheel, and there is your 1944 Mai Tai. Enjoy it.